It started as brotherhood to day one friends who stood shoulder to shoulder through everything. Lil Durk and OTF Bayzoo weren't just partners in music. They were family, bonded by the same streets, same hunger, same pain. For years, their loyalty was unshakable, the kind of bond that made fans believe in real love in the rap game. But lately, that love has turned cold. Subtle shots, cryptic posts, and silent tension have started to expose a story nobody expected. And now, Durk himself has finally spoken, exposing Bayzoo's betrayal in a way that sent shockwaves through the hip-hop world. Durk's message wasn't loud, it was surgical. He didn't scream, didn't name names, but every word cut deep. "All love turns sour," he said, and that one line told fans everything they needed to know. It was pain disguised as poetry, truth wrapped in silence. Behind the scenes, whispers of money moves, loyalty breaks, and secret disses began to surface. People close to OTF claim something real snapped between the two, something that can't be fixed with a simple apology. The same man Durk once called his right hand might have crossed a line that even the streets can't forgive. Now fans are divided. Some say Durk is just protecting his name. Others say Bayzoo finally showed his true colors. But one thing's clear, the bond that once defined OTF has cracked wide open. This isn't just a fallout. It's a reminder that fame tests loyalty harder than the streets ever did. Every lyric, every post, every silence now feels like a message. And deep down, Durk's words echo a warning to everyone watching. In this game, love doesn't fade, it flips. The same hands that once built you up can be the first to break you down. Before the betrayal, there was love. Real love. Not the kind you post for views. Not the kind you rap about for clout. The kind you build through blood, silence, and loyalty. Lil Durk and THF Bayzoo weren't just two rappers trying to make it out. They were two soldiers who came up from the same struggle. Same nights, same pain, same hunger. In the early days, when OTF was still a dream, and the streets of Chicago were louder than any beat, Bayzoo was always there. When things got rough, when money was short, when fame seemed a lifetime away, he was by Durk's side. Their friendship was like armor. You couldn't say Durk without hearing Bayzoo right after. They weren't friends. They were family. But fame changes everything. When Durk's name started climbing the charts, the energy around him shifted. Suddenly, there were managers, labels, interviews, deals, a whole new world that didn't move by the same street code. And somewhere between the flashing lights and the silent glances, something in that brotherhood started to break. Bayzoo was still in the picture, still loyal, still calling Durk his brother. But the whispers started people close to both camps saying things didn't feel the same anymore. Some said Bayzoo felt left behind. Others said Durk was growing distant, trying to protect his image. Whatever it wasn't what it used to be. Then came the subtle shots, the ones that never mention a name but carry a message. You can feel in your chest. Durk started dropping bars about fake love, about brothers switching sides. Fans noticed. The timelines lit up. Everyone started asking, is this about Bayzoo? And for the first time in years, Durk didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it either. He just let the silence talk. That silence hit harder than any diss track ever could. Because when Durk finally said, "All love turns sour," fans understood something deep had broken. Those words weren't about a random beef. They were about betrayal from someone who knew him better than anyone. Someone who'd been in the studio, in the trap, in the house. Someone who'd shared the wins and the wounds. Insiders started hinting at tension behind the scenes, business disagreements, trust issues, maybe even money moves that went left. Some claimed Bayzoo made choices that hurt the brand. Others said Durk changed, letting success distance him from the people who helped him get there. But the truth? It's never simple. In this game, love and loyalty are fragile. One misunderstanding, one bad move, one whisper, and everything you built can turn to dust. Durk didn't come up in this industry by playing it safe. He's seen betrayal before, from outsiders, from haters, from the streets themselves. But this time, it hit different. This wasn't an enemy, this was family. And that's what makes the betrayal hurt the most. Because when the person you once trusted, like blood, becomes a stranger, you don't just lose them, you lose a part of yourself. Now, Durk's music carries a new tone, darker, colder, sharper. He's not the same artist from the Signed to the Streets era. He's more careful, more distant, more guarded. His verses don't just talk about pain, they live in it. Every lyric sounds like a wound trying to heal. Meanwhile, Bayzoo's silence speaks volumes. He's not clapping back on social media. He's not feeding the blogs. That silence, it's heavy. Some say it's guilt. Others say it's pride. But one thing's for sure, the brotherhood that once fueled OTF's rise is gone. Fans are caught in the middle, watching two men who built an empire now stand on opposite sides of it. The same people who celebrated their loyalty now mourn its loss. And deep down, everyone knows this isn't just another rap fallout. This is personal, because when all love turns sour, it's not about music. It's about betrayal. It's about heartbreak. It's about realizing that sometimes the biggest enemy doesn't come from the streets. He comes from within your circle. This is only the beginning of the story. And the more Lil Durk speaks, the clearer the picture becomes. The brotherhood that once looked unbreakable has fallen apart in silence. But silence in hip-hop never lasts long. Something's coming, and when it hits, it'll change the game again. When Lil Durk speaks, he doesn't talk, he codes. Every lyric is a message, every bar a confession, every silence a sentence. And lately, fans have been decoding something darker, something personal. It started small. In a recent freestyle, Durk dropped a few lines that hit too close to home. I gave my dog the plug. He tried to tax me double. You can't call it loyalty if you counting what I owe. The crowd went wild. But the real ones, the ones who followed Durk since 300 days, 300 nights, knew exactly who he was talking about. The tone wasn't just anger. It was disappointment. It was heartbreak. Social media blew up overnight. Fans flooded the comments. He talking about Bayzoo? I just know it. Durk finally speaking out. This ain't just a bar. This real life. And the truth is, it did sound like him. Because who else could make Durk talk like that? Who else could cut that deep? Behind the scenes, whispers got louder. People close to OTF claimed that business got messy, that money went missing, that trust got broken, that promises weren't kept. But nobody dared to speak on record. Everyone knew when you're that close to Durk, silence is survival. But Durk wasn't silent anymore. Through his music, he was bleeding truth, line by line, verse by verse. He wasn't naming names, but he didn't have to. He knew the world would connect the dots, and Bayzoo. He didn't clap back. He didn't respond. He just kept posting cryptic stories, old memories. Captions like real ones, no. But in hip-hop, silence can sound a lot like guilt. It's wild when you think about it. Two men who've built a brand together, who called each other brothers, now locked in a silent war through music and energy. That's the tragedy of success when loyalty gets tested by fame. It's never about who's right. It's about who stayed real. Durk started distancing himself publicly. No tags, no photos, no mentions, for the first time in years. Bayzoo's name was missing from everything OTF. The fans noticed, and the message was clear. This wasn't a break. This was separation. In interviews, Durk dodged the question. Whenever hosts asked about OTF or the circle, he'd smile slightly and say, "We good. It's just love turned sour." That phrase, "love turned sour," became iconic overnight. It wasn't just a quote anymore. It was a warning, because everyone in Durk's world knew if he ever uses that phrase on you, it's over. There's no coming back from that. Industry insiders said Durk was finally learning what fame does to loyalty. When the money gets bigger, the love gets smaller. When the spotlight hits, the shadows grow darker. But deep down, it wasn't just business. It was personal. It was pain wrapped in pride. You could hear it in Durk's tone. The same man who rapped about surviving gunfire, losing friends, and burying family, now sounded broken in a new way. This wasn't about enemies. This was about a brother who forgot what brotherhood meant. And while Durk moved quieter, his lyrics got louder. In one track, he said, "I can't cry no more for them. They chose, they sighed. I gave them the keys. They still tried to steal the drive." That's when it hit everyone. He wasn't just exposing Bayzoo's betrayal. He was mourning the loss of loyalty itself. The fans started calling it the silent breakup of OTF. Because this wasn't some public explosion, it was quiet heartbreak. It was real-life pain playing out through bars and beats. Real-life pain playing out through bars and beats. By now, the story wasn't about who was guilty. It was about how fame eats family. Durk's team kept things moving, tours, videos, merch drops, like nothing happened. But those close to him say he's changed. He's colder, more selective, less trusting. The same man who once gave everyone a seat at his table now eats alone. And maybe that's what happens when love turns sour. You stop feeding people who only show up when it's sweet. The fans still hope for reconciliation. But those who know the game know better in this industry. Bridges don't burn. They collapse quietly, and Lil Durk, he's not looking back anymore. He's turning pain into power and betrayal into motivation. Because for him, music isn't just a platform. It's a diary written in code, and every line is a memory that refuses to die. The story's just getting started. Because every time Durk drops a new verse, another truth slips through the cracks. And sooner or later, everyone will know what really made that love turn sour. While fans watched Lil Durk drop coded bars, Bayzoo was moving differently. Not loud, not flashy, but calculated. The same man who once stood beside Durk like family was now quieter, almost ghost-like. Friends say he was reevaluating the circle, reevaluating loyalty, and maybe, deep down, reevaluating himself. Rumors began surfacing online. Insiders hinted at money disputes, missed payments, and secret deals that weren't cleared with Durk. Some said Bayzoo felt underappreciated, sidelined as Durk's star rose. Others claimed Bayzoo made moves behind the scenes, choices that would test loyalty to its breaking point. In the streets, one wrong move, one betrayal, could shatter everything built over years. But Bayzoo didn't respond publicly. No posts defending himself. No interviews. No comments. Just cryptic stories and old pictures, moments from when the friendship felt untouchable. His silence was deliberate, calculated, a message in itself. Durk's fans noticed the tension immediately. Comments blew up. Bayzoo knows he crossed the line. All love really turned sour. They used to be brothers. Now, this feels like a silent war. Insiders said the silence between them was deafening. The energy that once defined OTF had shifted. The studio sessions where they used to laugh, grind, and build were now filled with suspicion. Every glance, every word, every beat carried weight. Behind closed doors, some friends tried to mediate. They begged them to talk, to clear the air before things got messy. But pride, anger, and ego were stronger than reason. Both men had grown used to controlling their worlds. And when love turns sour, control becomes a weapon. In the music, the story unfolded further. Durk's verses became sharper, angrier, but also introspective. Lines about betrayal, trust, and loyalty whispered the truth to those paying attention. I gave you my all. You flipped the script. Now watch the empire fall. Bayzoo's tracks, meanwhile, became defensive. Some fans say the tone shifted from celebration to explanation, a man justifying his choices while carefully avoiding direct confrontation. Every lyric felt like a puzzle piece, a coded version of the story that only insiders could read fully. The breaking point, according to sources, came during a studio session. Tensions escalated over a financial split, something minor that shouldn't have mattered. But in a partnership strained by fame, it became symbolic. Voices were raised, words were thrown, and for the first time, the energy between them wasn't just distant, it was combustible. Friends recall seeing Durk storm out, shaking his head. Bayzoo stayed behind, silent, staring at the floor. Both knew that something had changed irreversibly. The brotherhood that had survived street battles, late nights, and every trap imaginable had finally cracked. Online. Fans speculated wildly. Every Instagram story, every post, every lyric was dissected. Conspiracy threads emerged. Did Bayzoo betray Durk? Is OTF finished? The debate consumed the internet, but the truth was simpler and harsher than fans could imagine. This wasn't just a fallout. This was a lesson about loyalty in the rap game. A lesson that power, fame, and money test every relationship. And when one side chooses self-interest over brotherhood, the cracks show loudly, publicly, and painfully. And for Lil Durk, every move he makes now carries weight. Every verse, every post, every silent glance is a statement. Because when you've been betrayed by someone you called family, silence becomes strategy, and music becomes your testimony. Bayzoo's silence, Durk's coded bars, and the growing tension painted a stark picture, one that fans felt in their gut, in the rap game. Love can turn sour overnight, and once it does, there's no going back. The story isn't over. Secrets are still out there. Whispers still circulate. And as long as the music plays, the tension simmers, waiting for the next verse, the next post. The next revelation that will finally show the world what happens when all love turns sour. Once the tension between Lil Durk and Bayzoo leaked online, the streets and social media erupted. What had been whispers behind closed doors became a wildfire overnight. Fans scrolled through every post, every story, every line in a song, dissecting it for hidden meaning. Every bar Durk dropped was examined as if it were a confession. Every vague post from Bayzoo became proof or speculation of betrayal. The industry took notice too. Bloggers, YouTubers, and hip-hop commentators jumped in, turning a personal feud into viral headlines. Durk exposes Bayzoo trended within hours. Threads on Twitter dissected their studio sessions, past collaborations, and even cryptic old lyrics that hinted at cracks in the brotherhood. Fans debated endlessly. Was it business, ego, or something deeper? Durk's response was careful, deliberate. He didn't attack. He didn't call names. Instead, he let his music speak for him. Every verse became a window into his mindset, pain, disappointment, and the cold realization that loyalty is fragile. In one track, he said, "Gave my all to the ones I trusted. They flipped the script. Now I'm adjusting." It wasn't just a diss. It was a declaration. The same man who once let everyone in now carefully chose who stayed, and his fans felt it. They knew this was personal. They knew the bond had broken. Meanwhile, Bayzoo's silence continued to fuel speculation. His cryptic posts, old photos, and vague captions seemed defensive. But in the streets, silence has power. It can make people question motives, doubt intentions, and wonder, is he guilty or is he simply unwilling to play the public game? The public fallout reached its peak when both camps started sharing indirect messages on social media. Subtle flexes, old videos, and hidden commentary in new tracks. Every move was scrutinized, every reaction magnified. Loyalty, once a badge of honor for OTF, was now a topic of debate. Fans and industry insiders began asking, if love can turn sour between brothers, can anything survive in this world? For Durk, the stakes were higher than ever. The feud wasn't just about Bayzoo. It was about reputation, legacy, and the code he lived by. Every statement, every lyric, every post had to reinforce that he hadn't lost his power, even as he mourned the betrayal. In interviews, he spoke carefully. In this game, you learn fast. Some people ain't built for loyalty. You just keep moving. The media frenzy didn't let up. Podcasts, blogs, and news articles replayed old moments, edited clips, and fan reactions. Every comment thread became a battlefield. Social media wasn't just a platform anymore. It was a courtroom where fans judged every word, every action, and every pause. Through it all, Durk remained consistent. His focus wasn't revenge. It was clarity. He was showing the world what happens when loyalty dies and how even the closest bonds can crumble under pressure. Music became his truth-telling medium, and fans flocked to it like evidence. Each verse was dissected, each track discussed, each lyric replayed. The feud became a lesson in real time. Trust is fragile. Betrayal leaves scars. And the streets don't forget. By now, the story wasn't just about Durk or Bayzoo. It was about loyalty, power, and the cost of fame. It was about watching something that once seemed unbreakable collapse under its own weight. And the world couldn't look away. The feud had exploded, but Durk's response reshaped his legacy. He wasn't just a rapper anymore. He was a man proving that even when betrayal cuts deep, survival and resilience define your story. The streets, the fans, and the industry watched as he turned pain into power. A reminder that in hip-hop, loyalty isn't given. It's earned, preserved, and, sometimes, painfully lost. And while Bayzoo's side remained mysterious, the damage was done. Fans no longer saw just two friends. They saw a cautionary tale. Love can turn sour, even when it feels unbreakable. The dust didn't settle overnight. It never does in hip-hop. Once the feud between Lil Durk and Bayzoo became public, it left scars that could be felt far beyond the music. The streets, the fans, and the industry watched closely every post. Every track, every cryptic comment analyzed like evidence in a courtroom. Durk didn't panic. He didn't lash out. Instead, he adapted. Every verse became sharper, every bar more intentional, every project a statement. He had learned a hard truth. Loyalty is fragile, and betrayal doesn't just hurt the heart, it reshapes your world. Just hurt the heart, it reshapes your world. Fans started noticing a change. Durk's music carried more depth, more reflection, and a sense of hard-earned wisdom. The man who once rapped about guns, money, and survival now spoke about trust, heartbreak, and the price of betrayal. In his lyrics, you could feel the lessons he learned firsthand. You can ride with me or against me, but don't confuse love with convenience. Meanwhile, Bayzoo's silence remained a mystery. The rumors and speculation continued, but Durk chose not to engage. He let his art do the talking, proving that when love turns sour, strength isn't about revenge, it's about rising above. The story resonated with fans because it wasn't just about two men falling out. It was about the fragility of trust in an environment where fame, money, and power constantly test loyalty. It was about how even the closest bonds can crack when the pressures of success collide with personal ambition. Durk's response, measured, intentional and emotionally charged, became a blueprint for how to navigate betrayal without losing yourself. He showed the world that heartbreak can fuel creativity, that silence can carry meaning. And that legacy isn't just built on loyalty, it's built on resilience. And that's where Rap Shock comes in. Our mission is to bring you the stories the mainstream won't fully tell, the truths behind the music, the feuds, the heartbreak, and the real lives of the artists you follow. Lil Durk and Bayzoo's story isn't just about gossip or drama. It's a lesson, a reflection, and a moment in time that defines a generation. As fans dissect the feud, replay tracks, and debate who was right or wrong, the bigger picture emerges. In this world, loyalty is earned, trust is tested, and love, even the strongest kind, can turn sour. But the way you respond to betrayal determines your legacy, not the betrayal itself. Durk chose to rise. He chose his music, his fans, and his growth over bitterness and spectacle. That decision didn't just preserve his career, it strengthened it. He turned pain into art, betrayal into inspiration, and heartbreak into a lesson for everyone watching. At Rap Shock, we honor those lessons. We tell the stories behind the headlines, the truths that echo in lyrics, and the emotions that resonate beyond the beat. Lil Durk's journey shows us that in hip-hop, as in life, strength comes from surviving betrayal, learning from it, and continuing forward no matter how sour the love once was. So, whether you're a fan of the music, the streets, or the real human stories behind it all, remember this: love can turn sour. Loyalty can be tested, and pain can be transformed. And right here on Rap Shock, we'll keep bringing you the truth behind the music, unfiltered, uncut, and unforgettable. Because the feud may have left scars, but the legacy that lasts forever. If this story of Lil Durk and Bayzoo hit you, don't let it stop here. Betrayal, loyalty, and the harsh truths of the streets are what shape hip-hop, and at Rap Shock, we dive into the real stories behind the music, beyond the headlines and social media chaos. We break down every feud, every lyric, and every moment that defines the legends you follow. Subscribe to Rap Shock and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that exposes the raw, unfiltered truth of the rap world. Comment below your thoughts. Do you think loyalty can survive fame, or is betrayal inevitable? Share your perspective and join a community that refuses to settle for surface-level drama. On Rap Shock, the streets talk, the legends live on, and the truth always hits harder than the headlines.